your friend here. Honorable Sam Mayanja is the new attorney general replaced you.
He's not my from Uganda. Okay, kakati this Sam Mayanja, first of all, he's a loyalist really. He's a Museveni man all through.
He's a Musevenist.
He's a Musevenist. He understands the Museveni, and I think General Museveni also understands his minister. Because I will give you an illustration. This was 2023, I think. That December, the press unit used to organize that press conference of the HE to end there with journalists. So we went there to interact with the president as journalists. So somebody from Buganda Kingdom, from CBS, asked a very hostile question. You know, the lawyers call it a leading question. Put a leading question which clearly would leave General Museveni with no option but to blow up Sam Mayanja. They knew he was going to crush him because, you know, it was about to land, and you know how sensitive land matters can be. So he asked, this is a very senior journalist. He really prolonged and gave his question a lot of background, leaving the HE no room to really avoid, you know, bashing his own minister. But Museveni said, you see, ministers like Sam Mayanja did not go with us in the bush, but they are naturally revolutionaries. Mayanja is a revolutionary. Let me tell you, Mr. Questioner, revolutionaries are always misunderstood. I'm not surprised that a journalist of your caliber, of your pedigree, has had to misunderstand Mayanja's methods of work. He said he is doing the work of the peasants. You know, Museveni has that connection, that emphasis on peasants. And Mayanja is so much engrossed in that. He's a lawyer, he's seasoned, he is a man of Untinda, high profile, you know. But I don't know why he has that love for the ordinary people, to the extent that he has made so many mistakes as minister. You know, he has been state minister of lands, and has made many mistakes. Some of them are genuine. You know, you can make a mistake when you the intention was to do the right thing, a good thing, you know, to deliver public good. Mayanja, you know, has been sued, just like Nantaba was. Even in Nantaba, you know, was a populist, was in that ministry, and helped a lot of Bibanja people. Sometimes would even not listen to the other side, would not pay attention to the due process, and you know, you burn your fingers. And Ugandans these days, those mafias who like to steal land of the peasants, they are clever these days. They will sue you as a person. This thing of precarious, it's called what? Precarious liability. That thing of being that you sit the attorney general who will be sued because he's the lawyer of all ministers. What the mafias do, they will sue the AG, first respondent, then they will also sue the minister in his individual capacity. And that's calculated to drain you, to exhaust you emotionally, physically, but most importantly, financially. Because that will mean you have to instruct a lawyer to represent you in court. Nantaba suffered that a lot. Even our friend Persis Namuganza suffered it when she was in that docket. Mayanja has suffered it too. He's a lawyer, he knows land matters, he's written a lot about land matters. By the way, he's also a lecturer of law. He used to teach law at Nkumba University there with the Professor Bwenji, Francis Bwenji. So he knows everything, but once in a time you can make mistakes. And the courts will always have the last word. So he has, you know, had to even face a lot of personal liability. People have sued him as a person. And there are cases which have resulted from his directives. You see, in this country, we believe that we are only used to presidential directive. But Mayanja is one man who has even endeavored to popularize. You know, there is something also called the ministerial directive. But that is never exercised. I think ministers, they don't exercise. But it should be there. Presidential directive. We should also have ministerial directive. Mayanja has been issuing many of those in his capacity. Because take all the money. The minister will be attacked. Amanye teka chirimowa era abadde exercising nnyo olumune kimuleetera emitawaana naye ng'akoledde nnyo abantu akoze ebintu bya land evictions bino bukedde nti ogimanyi ku Lwabugere TV ng'omusoso ogwanyonyola those evictions, demolitions of people's homes, we agree it's still happening, but it has diminished. It has been not as frequent as it used to be, and it's his effort because he's a rich man. He's not going to come to solve a problem in order to get some acres of land for himself. He's a rich man, very proud. He's a Christian, he's an evangelist. Abulira n'enjiri eno ey'okuluguudo background gy'avaamu. abave Bulaya wabulira ku kive Bulaya.
Yeah, kive Bulaya.
We used to sing in primary.
Yes.
Apollo kive Bulaya. You know?
Yeah.
Ni javamu. That's the background of his family. Paternal side. So musajja wanjiri amakanisa gamuyita nomuyita n'abuulira ku Sunday.
Okay.
He's deeply spiritual. Very spiritual man. Naye atalina omutima ogulumirwa abantu ba bulijjo. Nti agenda nalaba abantu abali mugobwa ku ttaka. Ensobi zonna z'akoze ebirungi byakoze bibadde with an intention of empowering the ordinary people. Kubanga office y'ettaka eyo oba oli muli wa ssente osobola okubeera ne gundi. Yalinga mu Elias Lukwago kituuka mu kulwanirira ennyo abantu. Those social justice causes, ensonga z'omuntu wa bulijjo zewanyongeza batalina ddoboozi. Ensonga ezo Mayanja azibeerako nnyo. Nkakasa bulungi nti kyekiri ku mutima gwe. Because I've known him for a long time, to the extent that I was the first journalist. This he says many times, whoever put him in a newspaper anyway, or to put him on any public media.
That's the reason why I called him your friend.
So we have a lot of history together. Naye ayagala nnyo abantu ate tatya. He's very strong. He's a rich man. You know, there is something called the Kampala Associated Advocates. He's one of the founders.
Okay.
And people who are familiar with hotels, in hotels we call them 5-star hotels. This Kampala Associated Advocates is one of the 5-star law firms of Kampala. It's one of the best. To the extent that they're even lawyers of the president. They have been instructed many times to represent the president. Okay. Including in the election petitions of Besigye of 2001 and 2006. They have been his lawyers. It's a serious firm. You know, some building is sprawling out there in Nakasero Road. It's the headquarters there. It's like a hotel. It's a massive firm. He's not in this thing to look for money. They have all the best clients in Kampala. They are grade A. They go to. Ngabo umanya nti njala hoteli ya amanyi na conference. Somebody will tell you Serena, will tell you Speak Resort. So his law firm is an equivalent of those 5 stars. Okay. He's a co-founder, but now he has not been active lately because of the obvious conflict of interest. Because the firm might be deprived of an opportunity to do business because the minister is Minister of Land. So if there is an investor who is doing a land acquisition and needs to instruct a firm, the KAs can easily lose that work because somebody will say, na hino si conflict of interest. Ye ministry agenda okusaininga bino ebipapula ate omulimu tuguwadde. Kati he decided not to be active. He stepped aside and is not active in the farm, and he's from Mityana. But he is belligerent, really. He is a belligerent man towards Buganda Kingdom.
Tosobera amanyi. You've talked about Buganda
That's
Kingdom.
The thing there.
Unfortunately, I don't remember who wrote on social media. Wabulambadde ensoma ng'omuntu agamba nti wano batumaze olaba abadde eri mu lance atunyiga zino bamulesa wano bamudeploy bamulesa specifically kwongera ddala kunyigiriza Buganda. And what do you have to say about this?
You know, people can be made ministers and they don't appreciate the authority that comes with that office. Mayanja understands it. Now he's the chief lawyer of the whole government. Because Attorney General is the lawyer of government. His chambers is the law firm of government. I can tell you he's going to assert himself. I can anticipate that. And his views on Uganda are not popular. You know, they are capable of alienating General Museveni is appointing authority from the population in Uganda. But I don't think General Museveni cares about that. Because he knows Uganda don't like him. Whatever he does, it's not going to change. The younger people in Uganda, in the villages, their views are not going to change. They are not going to like him more or less because of who is Attorney General. But I think really this is not good news for Buganda Kingdom, really. Because Mayanja has been contesting so many things. You know, Buganda is getting compensated, embuga z'amasaza, amakomere, ekigoma nyinti ne prisons. Eri ku mataka mangi nga ga Buganda. Many districts are on Buganda land. They are supposed to pay some money to the Kabaka.
Rent.
For using his land. And the General Museveni is okay with it for his politics. But Mayanja has always been objecting. And he gives his reasons, he reads, he writes, he does what. But there had always been a guardrail in the form of the outgoing Attorney General. And I think that partly explains why the relationship between the two became constrained. Yeah, because Mayanja would take a stand, then the AG would contradict that stand. And the AG, because by virtue of the office he occupies, would take a precedence. General Museveni would disregard the views of Mayanja and take the one of of Kiryowa. Kati Kiryowa bamugyewo ate omusajja gwabadde talima naye Kambugu gwe bakiwadde. Kati olaba omukulu naye simanyi bintu byengeri gyabikolamu. Kati awo osuubirawo enkolagana wano wasava nnyo. And let me tell you another thing. Kiryowa is a workaholic person. He comes to office very early, leaves at 10 p.m. and he had set a standard. All the guys who work at that ministry, that's how they have been working. Mayanja is equally very hard working. He reads documents, he attends meetings, he is in very early, leaves very, so that is going to continue there. That culture of hard work, but he also understands government, understands matters of law. He has also had issues with some judges. Some people who are judges, they have written decisions which have contradicted his views. He has been very angry and has gone to look at the radio. He has a weekly program on Sunday. He has not pretended about his disappointment. He has always called out those judges to say, yo, Maso Mama Tekawa, Mukola bino bichi? Which lawyer, which judge is this? But now he is Attorney General. And as Attorney General, he has a lot of say in who becomes a judge. Because by law, he sits on the Judicial Service Commission. So he can determine which judge gets promoted, which judge gets appointed. Museveni has made him even more powerful. And that signals the fact that he realizes these things of Buganda and what he thinks, that he can do without such constituencies. Okay. He can do what he thinks. But also there is an agenda of land acquisition. Land acquisition. Because infrastructure projects like that one going to your home, it's called the Kampala Jinja Expressway.
Kampala Jinja Expressway.
This in PG, those major projects have stalled largely because of land acquisition. Abantu tebagala kuwayo ttaka lyabwe, basaba compensations eziri unreasonable, and that makes the cost of the road to go up, to become very expensive. General Museveni has always wanted a situation where government can even acquire land compulsorily. You have Article 26 in the Constitution. It talks about right to property. Article 26. With Mayanja now being AG, do not be surprised if this is brought before Parliament for revision. Because it's an obstacle. It's what all of us see. Kakati olaba project ya kilometer 10 na ye wano kajevi somewhere who has a small piece of land olugudo lulina okuyita right of way. Na ine ruyimirira kubanga mwami JV alemeddeko agamba ati ayagala kawumbi government egamba katukuwa olunana government value wakikwate mu biki.
We are actually experiencing that in Ibusoga. There is a road which that's called, I'm forgetting it, Yeva Jinja, then it connects to Kamoli and Ibukungu. This project has stalled as well because Mechava yone bagamba ati bagenda kola olugudo. What people did, and big people in government, they went and bought plots around there. They built there some temporary house.
Strategically to claim compensation. Yeah, because they get information early.
They get information early, and now you can find you'll find that one person has more than 30 busi structures along the road. That road now he demands compensation. He wants too much money and the like, and that alone has stopped the project from going on. Up to now, it has been talked about for decades now. Nothing has been done. And so if you say at least some money may be available on that.
And the economy is shrinking, as Andrew Mwenda has been saying everywhere. The projects are very expensive because of land acquisition. Mayanja has a solution. He has written about it, has been talking to the HE about it, because the obstacle is Article 26, which is a good article, because everybody is entitled to their property. But Mayanja thinks there is a way we can circumvent that problem and get the projects done. So he has put him there, and I think he's going to do a good job. He's loyal, because you see, for me and you, we talk to many ministers. But there are people who, in privacy, Mayanja is a Museveni, whether in public, whether in privacy. He can never say anything bad about Museveni. He believes Museveni is an angel, is everything good. So things are going to be very complicated. Because now as chief legal advisor to government, he's going to, be very controversial. Because he believes in his views. He believes he knows the law. He's been in World Bank. He's been in international jurisdictions. He's going to assert himself like never before, and I'm afraid there is going to be a lot of resistance. The president will have to really support him a lot, because he's a strong character. He's not somebody who is going to back off, because he has been in lands and has been state minister. But he has really confronted things which I can't even say here. Fearlessly.
He has actually been more
because when
and visible than the minister himself.
Because when you are noticed full minister, you don't have the last word. Mayanja can take a stand on your land. You can appeal to the senior. The senior can reverse Mayanja's decision. But Mayanja would really push the civil servants who know how he works, and he knows how thieves steal. Because he's a lawyer, he's been practicing law for decades. He knows what they do, how they steal in those projects. He's really going to be hard. And don't be surprised, you're going to see him with a lot of security, because out of necessity, General Museveni will have to boost his security. Very outspoken, very controversial. He puts it the way it is. I do not think that's going to stop. But there is a possibility. There's a possibility, I will tell you, of this thing. The people at Mengo can make an effort. They can make a peace with him. He can de-escalate.
Really?
It's possible. You can see that the door is open. He will bash you, he will say anything, but he's always open to engagement. To talk or find common ground, try to de-escalate things here and there. He is really open to that. But, and again, you see how Museveni this time really got it right. He has kept there Wakafuzi, the deputy.
Yeah, the deputy.
Now, when Mayanja was Minister of Lands, has been working a lot with the deputy AG. Because the KK, the outgoing AG, his views were always very antagonistic to those of Mayanja. So Mayanja always find it easier. And his agenda would always move if the AG was off and the deputy was acting. He would always do things during that period.
And now is it?
Kati Wakafuzi bamulekeddewo. And then Mao na yasigaddewo. Manyi Mao incidentally ye mukama wabwe. Ye mukama wabwe. That team is a good team. Okay. They are going to have a good time. They are in their new building. You know, now they sit in a good place. Yeah. In Kololo, they visit Naguru near police headquarters, that Jero's place. They are going to have a good time, really. The PS is fantastic. You know, PS is extremely important. Yeah. He's the accounting officer. He's the one who facilitates work. He's the one who enables your agenda. That Kasande is called Robert Kasande. Seasoned. Muteke. Manyoba PS ngaba GM oze. But that Kasande is PS or Muteke has grown through the system. Okay. And the Mao is equal okay. He's a nice man. They are going to have a good time because he's not going to engage in deals which would cause conflict between him and the Sam. He's
a very straight man. I know him.
And now Mao can now manage parliament. Can interface with the parliament on behalf of the AG chambers. Okay. Then Sam can concentrate on these other things. Because there is a lot of work for that office of AG. Okay. A lot of work. A lot of it. And those younger lawyers are going to learn a lot of things from Mayanja. Because he's a lecturer, he's a teacher, naturally, he's well read. He likes fine things just like a KK. You're not going to write for him a legal opinion which is fake, which is funny. Or no Zungo or Ruby. He's a Budonian, he's a high profile person.
You normally use to no Zungo every day.
Working, they are going to have a good time there, I think. I really think, but it's going to be a difficult job for him because there are a lot of rotten things in the system. And Mayanja is not somebody who is going to look the other side. If it's rotten, he's going to confront it and deal with it the way it is. Then he will deal with the consequences later. He will tell you the chips fall where they may. For me, I will do what is right.
So Honorable Chiriowa was moved to the office of Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs.
He will work. Chiriowa is PRO, first of all.
Yeah, he is.
He's flexible. He can, I think, really have a good time with the General MK, going there to replace or both. I think he's going to do a job. And Chiriowa Chiwanuka briefly has a lot of history. He's not just a man who works with the first family. He has a lot of history in the Buganda Kingdom. Okay. Did you ever hear of somebody called Jole Jochiwanuka? He's one of the heroes of the independence struggle, the peers of Ignatius Musazi, Milton Obote. Very controversial man in Express. I think he's the one who founded the Express, that Express football club. So Chiwanuka comes from that family. Okay. And he has a lot of connection with the Buganda Kingdom. A lot of it. And the kingdom also has a lot of relationship out of necessity with the military. Because the military is occupying a lot of their properties. Okay. Including that headquarters there, that's Kabaka's land, that place there. that building which all of us are praising our brother General MK4.
Okay.
Most of those military establishments in Imbuya.
They are on Kabaka.
Most of that Imbuya, Mutungo, most of it is Kabakas. Of course, some Mayanja contests that. He says Yali Jawa. And Yali Gulakwani. Very controversial. Now, KK, and there are a lot of monies which have to come to Mengo in compensation for because of that land and the land in the other parts of the country of Uganda. So KK can really harness that relationship using that platform he has been given. And also just like Frank Atumwelanze, he's loyal, he's eloquent, he's fearless, he's energetic, and most importantly, he's versatile. He can go anywhere and work. Over agriculture, over energy. I'm sure he can adapt. He adapts very fast. He's adaptable. You know, there are people who are so inflexible. For him, he will hit the ground running, really. And MK, I'm told, he likes things to be done, doesn't like a bureaucracy, those red tape things. So he's going to add value.
And now here we have Dr. Musenero Monica, who replaced Nankabira, Honorable Nankabira, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. Nankabira was dropped.
She was.
She was dropped.
She was long overdue because General Museveni doesn't retain people who fail to defend their constituencies. At least she's had those 5 years of bonus. You know, she lost the thing in 2021 and has had another 6 years on the job. And, you know. Okay, so you want to talk about Musenero? Yeah,
Musenero. You know, Musenero is now in a ministry which is very sensitive. You know what's taking place right now when electricity and what should Ugandans expect from Musenero?
Musenero, very complicated. Let me talk like this. I do not know how General Museveni and why chooses his people. You know, the way he chooses them, what he considers. Musenero is from Bukedi there, that place of this man, Wakida, who I'm very disappointed not to see on the list. She's from that part of the country. And she considered at some point, I think she's married there, but I think she has, either she's married in Bugisu or comes from, I think she's married in Bugisu.
She's married in Bugisu, I think.
So, General Museveni believes if you have a constituency, you are stronger. You are a stronger person because you have a constituency. And I think this is information that Musenero has had the opportunity to pick and appreciate. Because at some point she considered there was a rumor in Mbale that she wanted to replace this woman who got issues with Mabati, that Mukatolichi Goreti Chitutu. That thing of hers, there was a rumor and it really disturbed Goreti a lot. And it turned out, I think Musenero tested the ground, the Americans testing the fence. I think she tested the fence and realized it was too early. Maybe she realized she needed more time to organize, to mobilize properly. So she needs to find a constituency to strengthen herself, because one of the things which count is being somebody who the president likes personally. He really likes her very much. Because me, I have not interacted with her, but I've interacted with a lot of her enemies. A lot of people who want to bring her down, who say this person is unworthy, he is unfit, he is this, he is heartless. Those are so many. She's, I think, one of the least liked ministers in this country. Among her colleagues and, you know, even civil servants in her ministry where she has been. There are petitions which people used to write. I'm surprised. If you didn't see any of them, I would be surprised. They were everywhere.
Oh, I do. I know a lot. I know a lot actually. About that.
Because the day she comes to committee of parliament, even the MPs have this attitude. We are going to skin you live like a rat. You are very proud. You are very arrogant. You always refer to the HE. They even believe there is a day she turned up for a committee, and the chairperson said, "Oh, I'm surprised you've come. We thought you wouldn't come. We hear you are too powerful." She's, you know, there is that perception about her. But on the other hand, the president likes her like nothing. You cannot throw any mud at her and it sticks. He doesn't believe anything about that she's a bad person in the way they talk. Actually, being removed from where she's been, STI, they call it Science and Technology and Innovation, to NIJ, is equally good. By the way, in STI, she's been exposed to a lot of money. money, because you know she did not have a vote at some point because STI is under the presidency. So Parliament cannot question her directly. She gets her money through the presidency. It's not an autonomous vote. But the way the money is used, some of it the H insists it can be classified, and that shields her from being questioned by Parliament. She's similarly placed like this woman called Florence Mulanga of the Banana Project. The president defends that old woman like nothing. He does not see any fault. He does not see any blemish in Mulanga. People say the MPs, the same views we are saying, we've been sinking money in this banana thing, billions for years. We don't see anything. We don't see output. What's happening? Museveni defends her. I think he looks for maybe some of the projects for us, we look at them in terms of today. For him, he's seeing them in 20 years from now. So this Museveni is really a blue-eyed girl of the president. And from what I know, this is how she got to meet Museveni from the beginning. In 2020, she doesn't have a lot of history in the Museveni universe. She's really a new entrant. Yes, like our sister Anita. But Anita at least has been there long and earned her place there. But this Monica, it simply took, she wrote an article. And you know she doesn't like me. I hope she's not going to be very angry. She believes I don't like her. So she wrote an article in New Vision. You know this COVID, coronavirus, was just starting. And remember it started in the Western countries. China, that lab there, which we are told had a leakage. Then it goes to America, to North America, to Europe. Really, it crushed them too much. It came here much because I first heard about it in January of 2020. Then in Uganda, it was proclaimed. The first case was in March. I remember that day when Museveni locked down the country on TV. Now, Musenero, now there was a debate. Is Uganda safe? Are we going to get COVID? Musenero wrote an article. You know, she's a scientist. She's a doctor. She's a doctor. Some of her enemies have told me that the president thinks she's a human doctor of human medicine, but she's a vet doctor like the Katungukas. This is what some of the people have told me. I've never found time to verify how true that is. So she explained, like as an authority. I think she has also worked in Makerere there, that vet thing, that college, for some time. So she wrote an article like a professor, this researcher, wrote an article saying nobody should deceive Uganda, that COVID is not going to reach us. And it was in a New Vision. She explained how this is a virus which is very contagious, which is going to reach every corner of the country. And advised that Uganda must invest in mitigation because it's going to be upon us sooner than we think. But we must prepare how we are going to mitigate ourselves against it, to minimize the damage, the death cases. I'm told, General Museveni reads the Museveni reads, a leader must read, just like Mayanja does and Chirio and others. Museveni reads. So Museveni, I'm told, read it. You know, he's very sensitive, fears, does not take things for granted. This corona now, which was targeting all the people, his age mates and more, I think he was keen to know more about it. How the country can prepare, you know, how do we make sure we don't get devastated like in Italy. I remember seeing the daily deaths and the mortalities. So, Kati, Musenero, I'm told that's how she gets the audience, because the man now wanted a deeper explanation, wanted it to learn, to tap into her knowledge, arsenal of knowledge on epidemics, on pandemics. Yeah, because she had done some work in West Africa or on Ebola or something. There's a lot of literature to that effect. So she goes in there, she liked her information, and started, you know, giving priority to what she had to say in meetings. She was immediately put on the committee. And I think when he realized as an old person, as an elder, that the colleagues were not comfortable with her being on board, because the scientists from Ministry of Health were despising her, had contempt. Because for us, we are in medicine. This corona is a problem for human beings. You are bringing a scientist who is good in vet. So I think the president realizes people are not comfortable in the meeting. So he opens a channel. He finds a way of continuing to interact with her, to benefit from her knowledge, but without, you know, making these other members of the committee uncomfortable. So that's how it started. There is more things about how this country has potential, how we need to invest in research. you know, I think she was getting resources maybe through the State House, the natural ways, those narrow so, which I think the HE at some point realized was not sustainable. He now needed to streamline her so that the resources can be there. Because there was something called Science and the Council of Science and Technology. It's based in Ntinda. She really took their place. There was a vacuum. It existed by law, you know, but the HE, I think, was not even aware of its existence. And yet, they needed to do some work for him, some content for him, guidance. And so this woman now positions herself. She took their place. She really took it. And many of her enemies originally were from that council. Okay. They were hurt. Because she saw the boss is asking, these guys have been taking money in the budget for years. But how come they had never brought to things like this to my attention? Yet basajja batu nabo bali bakola. Naye nga tebalina access bulungi. Bw'ogenda ku internet, you find a lot of literature. Those guys do produce a lot of documents. So now Musenero, that's how she comes about. Then the president has this agenda of research. Remember, our people would not go for medicine. COVID, you know, the entire world was locked down. People, ministers cannot travel. Now she says, there is potential. We have a lot of good scientists here whose only problem is funding. We need to resource this sector of research. You know, that was the conversation really, which culminated into her becoming a minister, STI becoming the thing which General Museveni now had to fund. Then you have people like Professor Bazey also did contribute to that conversation. And here we are, the thing gets funded. But I'm sure he knows that she's not liked. Now he has sent her to NIG. I think people are hurting. But she will have to find a constituency really. Going forward, if she's going to continue to remain relevant and secure her position, she will really need to find a constituency.
Another deployment which took very many by surprise was the Minister of Finance and Planning, Finance Planning and Economic Development. Here we've been having Honorable Matia Kaseja since 2015. Yes. And right now he was dropped and we now have Henry Musasizi, the one who has been his deputy. John, if you talk about Musasizi.
Musasizi is a high quality person. He is intellectual.
Did you see this coming?
Yes, I'm not very surprised by the way, because he has been doing the job almost, because Kasaija had the title. You know, there is what they call it, you know, there is keeping the job and also doing the job. Kasaija has been keeping the job, but Musasizi has been the one doing the job. Really. Because, you know, he started in Parliament. He's a gentleman from Moobs. He did BCom. I know him pretty well. He starts from there. He joins Parliament from his constituency there, Rubanda East. And that's a constituency with a lot of history. That's where Kanye Hamba comes from. The Shembagaines of this world. I don't know if you know Shembagaine. Sure. He was a minister also. Those are very senior people from Chigezi. Henry Musasizi comes from that community there. And he joined the Parliament. I remember it was 2021. Because I remember there was a friend called Gerard Balebe. He used to be a political reporter at Daily Monitor. And I was told by somebody that that's a new MP and he needs to interact with people like you. Can you get your colleagues? So I got Gerard. We went with Gerard to meet him.
To meet you, Musasizi?
Yes. He was sitting on this thing called Bomani. That Bomani where the Ministry of Justice has been. Okay. That Bomani there opposite Parliament main gate. And this thing was 300. I don't remember the office number. Many people used, even Variomus used to sit there. Many of them. So we met him. He told us, guys, I'm new in Parliament. I will need support. This is a Kampala which didn't have social media like today. He tells us he will need support from people like us. People who do political reporting. And he was very consultative. We are also small boys, but he was willing to say, what do you think? What do you think I should go about this? Do you promise you will support my work? And that Bomani had a lot of the so-called rebel MPs. Because you had Banyenzaki. Banyenzaki was a rebel MP. He used to be the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah, the supreme leader of the rebel MPs. Rebel MPs for a long time were like the caucus. opposition caucus, because the opposition was not as vibrant. And then for them, they took advantage and they became the alternative opposition within that parliament. So you had Banyenzaki there. Even Chris Baryomunsi used to be a rebel MP. He was, because Mbabazi, his rival, was the main decision maker the other side of the Museveni. So naturally, Baryomunsi, you know, had to be antagonistic with the mainstream. So there was Baryomunsi, there was Banyenzaki, Sechikubo, this is Muhammad Nsereko, Barnabas Tinka Simire. But Nsereko joined the parliament the same year with Musasi's. 2011, yes. They joined the same year. So there was that Tinka Simire, and all of those I've mentioned, the majority of them are Bachiga, they are from that. Even Tinka Simire, by the way, is Mufuluji, they moved from this side to Bunyolo, you know. So you had now, Banyenzaki was the most famous rebel MP. It had almost become part of his name. The Werodi Mayor had become part of Lukwago's name. So he was their leader and very energetic, very outspoken, very... So, now Musasi's, when he becomes an MP, you can imagine really who his role models originally had to be. It's those ones really, because we are influenced by our immediate environment. Because now he's from Michigezi. The greats from Michigezi are even Bahati also used to have some credentials of a rebel MP before he went to cabinet, yes. Because whoever from those guys from Michigezi felt that Honorable Mbabazi, who was very, very powerful, almost Museveni's de facto number 2, did not like them. They always believed they came to parliament as a result of defeating candidates that were from the Mbabazi universe. So they naturally became rebellious, because Mbabazi was synonymous with Museveni. So now he comes to parliament. That's how he goes to those committees of, that's called the finance committee. There is a committee of national economy, then the finance committee of parliament. Those are NRM committees. They are not the opposition committees. So he joined those committees. And he was running on the job in his first term. Within his second term, the ruling party designated him to chair one of those committees. He became a chairperson in the finance committee. You know, those are the guys who process the agenda of the ministry, processing the loans, those things of resource mobilization, having an eye on URA, you know, supervising agencies like those. So it was from there that he was made a minister. And they took his time. So these rebel MPs, their things escalated. At some point, they really escalated. And they had the open war with the mainstream of the NRM. And the Musasi's, because he's naturally a very cautious person, he knew where to stop. He knew how far to go and when to pull back. And allow the Sechikubos to carry on. Because he says, guys, I thought this is about really calling out the excesses of the executive. But if we are going to have a press conference and name call and begin demonizing the HE, begin demonizing the leaders in SEC, I think he knew where to stop. So now he had to find his own line, and because already he knew things. You know, this is the good thing with being substantive. Go when you olinamuka content kongo omuntu nga togenda kubeera hanze ndi wanita amongo godfather wange. So he was able to find his own footing and stayed within there, very disciplined, chairing his committee, doing very good work, being a team player. You know, chairing a committee also is not easy. And I think it's a training ground for NRM, and that's how General Museveni identifies people. Because a committee like that, you cannot chair it and you don't have access, you don't talk to the HE every now and then. Because he wants you to process loans for the country. You know, all of this infrastructure, we've done it with loans. Tukoleseza sente newole, committee is processing. Yechitwala ku plenary nemuchi defending, you popularize that loan. Why do we need it, you know? So the president has to talk to you every now and then. So from there, 2021, he became a minister of state for financing. And many people who wished him well were always praying that this General Museveni is fond of surprising people. We hope when the day comes to make this Henry Musasi as a minister, we pray that he puts him in finance. Because there he will be going to do what he knows, what he has been part of. And so he goes there. And Matia Kasaija, as we know him, was in there, having the job, but without doing the job. So he takes advantage, and he's very good with parliament because that's where he had come from. So I think Kasaija also prudently realized that this guy needs to go to parliament and be the one to do that job really.
And he had actually become, by the end of last time, I think he had become the face of the ministry.
You see, even people like Semu Junganda who are very critical would say, I respect that guy. He would even say sometimes that why doesn't General Museveni promote you to be the minister and the Matia becomes the state minister? Because you are the right one to do that job. Really, this is a well-merited appointment.
Okay.
And I think even if there is also a constituency which many of us don't pay attention to. It's called the development partners. Those donors, those lenders, those those institutions, World Bank. I'm sure they are very happy. Okay. I'm sure this is something they will endorse if they have not endorsed it already. Things can only get better at finance because you have Gobi as PS is fairly solid. I've had certain things which are not very good, but he's really solid. Now Lugolobi has stayed. Lugolobi is also equally very solid. Yeah. That man from Kayunga, very, very solid, very intellectual. There are not many such ministers in Uganda really who are so intellectual, who understand things. He has remained there. Who else have they put in finance?
Finance.
Sorry. I saw Lugolobi stayed because I talked to some people in the evening who were very scared if Lugolobi is removed. One of the agencies, his supervisor said, but I want to to food day. Musajja abadde mulungi ategeera ebintu byaffe. Lugolobi, Amina Mukalazi. Now this Shati Shikutesa, this daughter of Honorable SK, this is a very good person also. She may not have been at the finance ministry, but she can adapt. You know, Aggrey, there are many things which many of us do not know. She's well intentioned. You know, the intentions are also very important. They give you an office, you assume, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat. I'm going to help my cronies to access these loans of microfinance center. She's not that type. She really likes the people. She means well. She begrudgingly lost her seat to the president's brother. Yeah, she's still young. Age is still on her side. I'm sure one day she would like to consider really going back to Kirahim it back. They just didn't want to have a fight with the two families, you know. Because last time Sodo pulled out and said, okay, my sister, you take it. On condition that after 5 years, it's mine. I think they didn't want to go back on their word. So she's still interested. She would want to serve the people. She's equally good. She will learn on the job. She's exposed. She's been everywhere globally. This Amina Mukalazi is also fantastic. She's been a secretary in the State House, private secretary. Babaita SPA, Senior President's Advisor in charge of local content. Okay. Local content. She had a function. She's actually the one who organized the event at Kololo. Remember that event at Kololo? The swearing in, the very first one. Rather the victory part of Museveni, which came sometime back this year. Yeah, she's the one who organized it. Her office. She's a mobilizer. She's a Muslim. She's actually the one who has replaced Anita, Evelyn Anite. She's the one who has replaced her. Okay. People like you and me who are not part of the NRM universe, the Museveni universe, may not know her, but she's a well-known person within the Museveni circles. Okay. Because by the time the HE can entrust you to be the one to organize his party, and of course it caused a lot of enemies. People in NRM look at that as an opportunity to make money. To organize that thing, they assume General Museveni can give you 10 billion, you know. And really, Amina was harangued by fellow cadres for weeks because of that function. And Lugolobi is there. This Sise Mulondo is actually the one who has replaced Musasi's general duties. Yeah. She's from Luwero. This Luwero here, she actually wanted to stand against Brenda Nabukenya. But she lost the thing in the party primaries to Chirabo. You know Chirabo, this Chirabo who had been youth MP of Central. Is the one who took the flag. But I need to check my gazette. I'm not sure if Sise still came as an independent. You see how General Museveni can remember his people and surprise all of us. So she's also fallen in things. She's really fallen in things. She has fallen in things. Yeah, because if Henry is not able to do a certain thing, that's why they call her general duties. She's the one who will delegate.